Every 4 years, something strange happens. People who haven't thought about football in years suddenly become emotionally invested. They celebrate victories, feel disappointed by losses, rearrange their schedules around matches. And for a few weeks, it feels like millions of people are experiencing the same emotions at the same time. So why does this happen? Why do events like the World Cup affect people so deeply? And why do some people get completely caught up in it, while others feel almost nothing at all? The answer reveals something surprisingly important about human nature. And for a few weeks, it feels like everyone is paying attention to the same thing. You open social media, and it's everywhere. You meet friends, and they're talking about it. You go to work, and someone brings up the match. Even if you weren't planning to follow the World Cup, it starts following you. And little by little, you stop feeling like you're watching an event. You start feeling like you're part of it. Because there's a difference between watching a match alone and watching it knowing that millions of other people are living the exact same moment. The same tension, the same anticipation, the same celebration, or the same disappointment. Maybe that's why people care so much. Not because they love football, but because for a few weeks, they feel connected to something bigger than themselves. The interesting part is that this doesn't only happen with the World Cup. It happens with almost every event that feels rare. The Olympics, major championships, historic moments, even things that have nothing to do with sports. Because when something happens every day, it becomes part of the background. But when something only happens once in a while, people pay attention. The World Cup isn't just a football tournament. It's an event that people know won't last. And that changes everything. Suddenly, every match feels more important. Every victory feels bigger. Every loss feels heavier. Not necessarily because the game itself matters more, but because the moment feels temporary. And human beings have always valued things that don't last forever. That's why a match that you would completely ignore on a random Tuesday can suddenly feel impossible to miss during the World Cup. Because deep down, part of the excitement comes from knowing that if you miss it now, the moment is gone, and you won't get it back for years. But there's another reason the World Cup feels different. For a few weeks, millions of people are paying attention to the same thing, watching the same matches, talking about the same moments, reacting to the same victories and defeats. And that changes the way the experience feels. Because shared emotions are often stronger than emotions we experience alone. That's why a goal can feel exciting when you watch it by yourself, but feel unforgettable when an entire stadium erupts at the same time, or when your friends jump out of their seats, or when it feels like the whole country is living that moment together. And maybe that's what so many people are really looking for without realizing it. Not just to watch the event, but to feel like they're part of it. But here's the interesting part. Not everyone feels this pull. In fact, some people watch the World Cup and feel almost nothing at all. They don't feel the excitement. They don't feel the anticipation. And they don't feel like they're missing out on anything. Because not everyone is looking for the same experience. Some people are energized by shared moments. Others are energized by personal interests. They're less interested in what everyone else is paying attention to, and more interested in what genuinely captures their attention. And neither approach is right or wrong. It's simply a different way of experiencing the world. That's why one person can spend weeks talking about the World Cup, while another barely notices it's happening. Not because one person cares more, but because they're looking for different things. And maybe the most interesting part of all is that there isn't a right way to experience the World Cup. Maybe you're the person who wears the jersey, follows every match, celebrates every goal, and feels every victory and every defeat as if you were on the field yourself. Or maybe you're the exact opposite. The person who doesn't want to talk about football, doesn't care about the scores, and can't understand why everyone seems so emotionally invested. And the truth is that both reactions reveal something interesting about the way people connect with the world. Because in the end, the World Cup was never just about football. It was always about people, about belonging, about identity, about shared experiences. and about the different ways each of us finds meaning in the moments we live through. So now I'm curious, are you the person who wears the jersey and cheers as if every match were a final? Or are you the person who barely notices that the most watched sporting event in the world is even happening?